Okay, we're getting in news that actor Kamal Haasan has spoken out on the alleged rising intolerance in the country. However, Kamal Haasan has refused to return the national award. Kamal Haasan has, in fact, slammed the ongoing Award Wapsi, saying that he will not return the award. The veteran film star has taken a very powerful counter stance. Kamal Haasan has said, and I'm quoting him here, that there are other ways to protest against the alleged rising intolerance in the nation.
आपका क्या टेक है इसमें? बिकॉज़ लोग जानते हैं
डिबेट अभी आप हाथ में ले चुके हैं. ये इंटॉलरेंस 1947 से होता जा रहा है. इसीलिए हम दो नेशन बने हैं. नहीं तो पाकिस्तान और इंडिया शुड बी together. It would have been such a fantastic, huge country, and we could have taken on China in commerce, in everything. This intolerance is what divided the nation. It should not divide the nation again. So this is the time we are debating it. Every 5 years we should debate it and put it down if it comes. Because I am not the one for intolerance. Because I tolerate all religions, though I am not religious. I am not a religious man, but I would never say no to another religion or their practices. I won't do it. That's my right.
लेकिन बहुत सारे राइटर्स, साइंटिस्ट, फिल्म मेकर इन्होंने अवार्ड वापस कर रहे हैं. आपका क्या टेक है इस इशू पे कि क्या ये इस तरह का अवार्ड वापस करने से कुछ होगा?
कुछ नहीं होगा. Except you will insult a government or the people who gave an award to you with love. इससे कुछ नहीं होगा. You bring attention to it, but there are many more ways of bringing attention. Those people who returned their award are capable of bringing attention like this. They're talented people. One article by them will bring in more attention than returning the award. I think they should keep the award and make us proud and continue the fight against any government that is not tolerant enough.
सर एक लास्ट, ये इसको कहा जा रहा है कि ये सारी चीजें पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड है. मीन्स कुछ फिल्म मेकर या साइंटिस्ट या इस तरह के लोग इस वजह से कर रहे हैं क्योंकि वो पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड है. क्या देख है आपका?
All our politics, when the nation divided, you mean to say how many times the people were responsible? It was always a politician. And there were also sensible politicians like Gandhiji, Nehruji, and I'm sure there are many more now also, irrespective of party. I'm party agnostic. For me, I love my nation. Any party that does good to the nation I will be useful to that party. That's all. That's how I vote. That's how, and we should constantly keep voting with conscience, and we must vote and never sell our vote. That's all I can say.
तो क्या आप ऐसे लोगों से ये अपील करेंगे कि वो अपने अवार्ड जो वापस करना चाह रहे हैं वो वापस ले लें? मैं
मेरे बोलने से थोड़ी वो सुन जाते हैं. So we'll hope that they are not too angry, and that it is in their part also necessary to be a little more tolerant in these things. So tolerance is give and take. I'm not criticizing any party, but this is nothing new to India. It will surmount this also again as it has done before. Thank you.
Sir, recently 2-3 days నుంచి సోషల్ మీడియాలో ఒక ఫోటో మీది అండ్ రాజశేఖర్ గారి సర్క్యులేట్ అవుతుంది. సో దాని గురించి చాలా
Sir, he is a known person. I went to see a relative. His house was next door. I visited him. That's all. I visit all kind of people. Their ideology and my Sir, Rajini Garu and I, we meet constantly. It doesn't mean I've become either religious or political. We meet because we are friends.
Sir, in movie makeup ke elanti చేస్తున్నారు? మేకప్ చాలా డిఫరెంట్ గా కనిపిస్తుంది.
ఇది మేకప్ లేని మేకప్.
Let's get in a quick word from editor South T. Sudhir. Sudhir, the very talented and noted and very famous actor Kamal Haasan there, interestingly speaking in the same voice but having a very contrary view to the Award Wapsi campaign that the country has witnessed.
Absolutely. In fact, very strong words coming there from Kamal Haasan, but in an extremely measured tone, not really in favor of this Award Wapsi campaign of sorts, which is being run by artists, by filmmakers, by scientists and authors, but talking about the fact that there are other ways to really protest against something which they do not agree with. But very strong words coming as far as this whole atmosphere of intolerance is concerned, because he said that's what really divided the country in 1947, and if the same thing continues, we wouldn't really want intolerance to once again divide the country. So really talking about how there are a few sensible politicians who would be able to see sense, and that's what he's really hopeful about. But yes, coming from a veteran filmmaker like Kamal Haasan, very strong words coming on the back of what Shah Rukh Khan spoke yesterday in Mumbai. Today Kamal Haasan making these observations here in Hyderabad.
Okay, let's also get in a word from editor India Today, Shiv Arur. Shiv, Kamal Haasan is a legend in his own right. He's someone who boasts of an illustrious journey in filmmaking. What does, his comments mean to the rest of the, eminent writers and noted filmmakers who have been returning their awards? Because we've seen such an unprecedented rebellion by India's, literary talent.
Let me just put this into perspective for our viewers, Avantika. Kamal Haasan, first of all, is not just any other actor. Apart from being an iconic superstar in the South, he's acted in films all across the country, including international films. But he's always been known as an intellectual, thinking sort of star, a very discerning individual, a person who's always been outspoken about his own views, but more importantly, a thinking person, not just a mindless film star. So Kamal Haasan coming out and actually swiping at the Award Wapsi campaign that we're calling it here on India Today assumes extreme significance, because Kamal Haasan taking that stand actually means something. That is point number one. Point number two, Kamal Haasan, as everyone knows, is a superstar, across the country, well known across the world. He's not won one or two, but 3 national awards, Avantika. He won his first one in 1982, the second one in 1987, and the third one in 1996. So he's one of the few actors in the country who's won 3 national awards for Best Actor. That's the kind of acumen he has. That's the kind of respect that he actually draws in the film world. For him to come out and say that he's not going to return any of his national awards, that there are other ways to protest, is very clearly taking a powerful stance in what has become an extremely ugly collision and face-off between intellectuals, writers, artists on the one hand, and the Modi government on the other. Now, while not overtly casting his lot in support of the Modi government, the fact that Kamal Haasan has stepped out to explicitly state that he will not be returning his national awards because he doesn't believe that that is a real or admirable form of protest is something that needs to be read very, very closely. Because remember, all of those who've returned their awards so far have made it about the Modi government. They've made it about intolerance. They've made it about cultural diversity. So Kamal Haasan stepping forward with 3 national awards to his credit and saying that he will not return these awards is definitely taking a very explicit, very strong stand.
Very strong stand, very strong statement, Shiv, especially at a time when India's intelligentsia have been protesting against what they call is an attack on the freedom of expression. What does this statement really mean to, other filmmakers, scientists, or, noted writers? Because they feel that this is their way of expressing against what they call is rising intolerance in the country.
It's going to make things very interesting because, as you've seen over the last, few weeks, every single actor, at any of the public events or film promotions is asked this question about the Award Wapsi, campaign. It's begun to look really like a campaign because you had intellectuals first return their awards, then you had filmmakers, you had others, you had scientists even, threatening to return their own awards. So it's had a kind of domino effect across many people looking at the returning of awards as a legitimate form of protest. There has of course been a counter-attack from the government. You had had Arun Jaitley earlier today saying that there is no intolerance in the country. It's just a manufactured sort of revolt that began with the Sahitya Academy protest. But with people like, Shah Rukh Khan yesterday saying that, he doesn't really believe in the returning of awards as a form of protest. And Kamal Haasan today saying that there are other forms of protest. Obviously, from within the body of intellectuals, writers, artists, actors, filmmakers, there are very powerful views against.
Yes.
And these are not political views. Remember, there are many filmmakers, many actors who may be labeled as having political leanings, people who have a vested interest in the politics of what's going on. But people like Kamal Haasan, who've stayed away from politics, who've made it very clear that they have strong views and will express them when they need to, coming out and taking a powerful stand like this is definitely a very important part of what many will interpret as the kind of inside counter-attack over the Award Wapsi campaign. I think that's why it's so significant, Avantika.
Absolutely, Shiv. Sudhir, as Shiv was rightly pointing it out, it's a very strong statement, to be made by an iconic and legendary actor such as Kamal Haasan, especially at a time when we have noted personalities such as writers, authors, all expressing their dissent with intolerance and protesting against, these so-called self-appointed moral custodians and openly returning their awards. First it was the Sahitya Academy Awards, then it was the National Awards. But here is one actor who has stood by his National Award saying that he's not going to return it and that there are other forms of protesting. In fact, interestingly, Sudhir, even Vidya Balan had said the same thing. She echoed the same sentiment that the award given to her was not by any government but by the people of this nation.
Absolutely. In fact, this entire cacophony of awards Wapsi has reached such a crescendo that everyone thinks of only awards Wapsi returning their national or Sahitya Academy awards or resigning from their positions as the only way to protest. Kamal Haasan making it very clear that that's really not the only way of protest that's available, and that they can actually register their protest, their unhappiness as what's happening in the country in various other forms. And that's what he would like to do in his own right. As she was pointing out, someone who has won innumerable number of Filmfare Awards, 3 national awards, is obviously in the best position to talk about what he should do. He does admit that there is an extreme atmosphere of intolerance in the country, comparing it with the kind of intolerance that one saw in the pre-partition days leading to the division of the country, as he mentioned. But obviously he does realize that this kind of intolerance is not contained, is not fought almost on a regular basis. He spoke of fighting it every 5 years. So unless that is done, he believes that society, one, will not be doing its duty, and number two, this kind of opposition to this kind of intolerance should be there among society. But yes, definitely not agreeing with the method of protest of returning their awards, because that, he believes, is an insult not just to the government which gave it, but also to the people who actually bestowed that honor on that particular author or artist.
The government have already explicitly expressed their displeasure about this trend of returning awards. In fact, they even have called it a travesty of history. But I only wonder that what kind of significance will Kamal Haasan's statement have amongst, his own peers and colleagues in the film industry, Sudhir?
Well, it would carry a lot of weight, because it is, finally it is Kamal Haasan speaking, who is one of the tallest figures as far as Indian cinema is concerned, not just in the world of Tamil cinema. He has acted in different languages, and he has been acting right from the time when he was a child artist. So obviously that carries a lot of weight. And as she was mentioning, he is a thinking actor. He is not just someone who puts on grease paint and comes in front of the camera. And he has several accolades to his credit. So obviously that will carry a lot of weight. Someone who does believe that this kind of returning our awards is actually an insult to the people who gave it and does not really get much of attention. And another significant point that Kamal Haasan actually pointed out in that brief interaction with the media here in Hyderabad is the fact that their people have to respect other religions. He spoke about himself as a religion agnostic, and that he respects other religion, an indirect reference to the whole controversy over beef eaters and non-beef eaters. Obviously, he does think that too much of attention is paid to these kind of irrelevant issues, and that every religion needs to be respected, irrespective of whether you actually practice that religion or not.
Shiv, the Award Wapsi campaign has really grown, with several more scientists now joining the wave of protest by Indian intelligentsia. So clearly, right. All right, Shiv, I'll just come to you. My producer is just telling me we have with us Ashok Pandit there, noted filmmaker, on the phone line. Ashok, thank you so much for speaking to us on India Today. So Kamal Haasan there, he is choosing to stand by his national award and not really willing to return it, and even, you know, in a way condemning the act by other noted writers and historians with the way they have expressed their protest against what they call rising intolerance. How do you respond?
I think this is a very great moment for people like us who believe that the society is tolerant and things are very nice. You can speak whatever you want to speak to, and then this was the biggest humiliation to the nation. We have always felt, me, Anupam Kher, Madhur Bhandarkar, who also respect the country. We always felt that returning of the award is the most intolerant act. You're talking about tolerance, you're condemning intolerance, but you're busy being more intolerant. Trophies, awards are given by the jury, by the people who belong to the same industry. Coming to that, I think Kamal Haasan ji supporting this and condemning this, it's a great sign of the country to realize that these are the people who are basically running the shops in the name of tolerance and intolerance, who have been nursed and who have been taken care by the earlier governments, and this entire act is politically motivated rather than raking up the issue which is really an issue or not an issue.
Ashok, in their defense, the intelligentsia of India, the literary talent have said that this is their way of expressing their dissent against what they call rising intolerance. And, now you have a person like Kamal Haasan, who, is an iconic actor himself, coming out and taking a literal swipe at the action by all of the noted and eminent historians and writers.
You see, Avantika, if Kamal Haasan is not feeling insecure or not feeling intolerant, then I think the matter ends there. I think he's a person of repute, he's a person of intelligence, he's one of the finest actors, directors and a citizen of this country. If he feels secured, then what is the problem with others who are suddenly feeling insecure during the BJP regime? It is a politically motivated, that's what we are trying to say. If I am feeling secured, if Anupam Kher is feeling secured, if Madhur Bhandarkar is feeling secured, if Anup Jalota is feeling secured, if Birju Maharaj is feeling secured, then everybody should feel secure. What is the problem? You are saying, you are speaking what you want to speak. You are going to president and saying whatever you want to speak. You are doing everything. And then you say there is no freedom of expression.
One only wonders, Ashok, then what really has prompted, the noted writers and historians to come out there and return their awards? And it's not only them, it's even filmmakers and even the scientific fraternity. Some scientists also who have, returned their honors back protesting. Why would they do so then?
I have an answer to that. I'm very... clear about it, because all these people who have written the awards, 99% of them already were opposite. They have signed memorandums against Modi before he became the Prime Minister that we don't want to see him as Prime Minister. They have already protested against him becoming the Prime Minister. They had already created a euphoria, kind of a intolerant society before the elections also. But to their shock or to their dismay, Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister. So now they're getting into the system by spreading lies that, well, it's an intolerant city. What happened? What is the incident they're talking about which is proving that it is intolerant? Tell me, you think Dadri, which is an unfortunate incident, and that's why you're calling that you are insecure? Then talk about Radhabai Chaul, where 5 women were lynched in Mumbai, and they all were burnt. There was 1984 Sikh riots. There was Bhagalpur, there was Kashmiri Pandit massacre. So many things have happened, unfortunate things. They never returned the awards. Suddenly what happened? So this is the hypocrisy. They are acting as sleeper cells of communists and Congress to create a kind of intolerant society.
Right. All right, Mr. Ashok Pandit, thank you so much for joining us and expressing your views. Shiv Arur, editor for India Today, is also with us. Shiv, you just must have heard Ashok. They're extremely happy with the comments and the statement made by the legendary actor Kamal Haasan. In fact, welcoming, Kamal Haasan's stand on this entire campaign. But my question to you is that, the message that this particular statement would send out to the other people who have, expressed their dissent over what they call rising intolerance, because they feel that this is their only way to express their dissent against intolerance.
Let's just, give a little bit more context to Kamal Haasan actually returning this award, Avantika. Apart from him being an iconic, legendary actor, a person who has won 3 national awards, a person who's regarded internationally as a thinking film star, let's also remind everyone
Shiv, I'll
that
just
Kamal
have to
Haasan
interrupt you, if I may interrupt you there. Apologies for that, but we'll go straight now to noted actor Khushbu also, who's with us on the phone line. Ma'am, thank you so much for speaking to us on India Today. How do you respond to the very strong statement made by Kamal Haasan over the Award Wapsi campaign?
I think it's absolutely fine. I don't know why it's such a hue and cry. I think Mr. Kamal Haasan is the most intelligent actor we have in a country today. And he has his own mind, his own thinking capacity. And he says he doesn't agree with the Award Wapsi. So that's absolutely fine. I mean, but he has said that the intolerance has been there. It has been there earlier also. But intolerance today is far more dangerous.
Yes.
The kind of intolerance we see today in our country, it's spiraling into something big, and that is what is scary.
Absolutely. Ma'am, he's spoken in the same voice. You're absolutely right. But he has taken a very contrary view to, the returning of awards by other eminent actors and filmmakers.
That's absolutely fine. I mean, like I said, everybody have their own thinking minds. And some thought that the way to protest against the intolerance is in a very democratic way, is silently returning the awards. Kamal Haasan thinks he need not return the awards, so that's absolutely fine. But he has spoken about intolerance, and that is what is important. Whether he returns his award or not is not important.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Let's listen in to what Kamal Haasan exactly had to say on the Award Wapsi campaign and his views about the alleged, intolerance, the climate of intolerance that has been witnessed in the country of late.
आपका क्या टेक है इसमें? बिकॉज़ लोग जानते हैं
डिबेट अभी आप हाथ में ले चुके हैं. ये इंटॉलरेंस 1947 से होता जा रहा है. इसीलिए हम 2 नेशन बने हैं. नहीं तो पाकिस्तान and India should be together. It would have been such a fantastic, huge country, and we could have taken on China in commerce, in everything. This intolerance is what divided the nation. It should not divide the nation again. So this is the time we are debating it. Every 5 years we should debate it and put it down if it comes. Because I am not the one for intolerance. Because I tolerate all religions, though I am not religious. I am not a religious man. But I would never say no to another religion or their practices. I won't do it. That's my right.
लेकिन बहुत सारे राइटर्स, साइंटिस्ट, फिल्म मेकर इन्होंने अवार्ड वापस कर रहे हैं. आपका क्या टेक है इस इशू पे कि क्या ये इस तरह का अवार्ड वापस करने से कुछ होगा?
कुछ नहीं होगा. Except you will insult a government or the people who gave an award to you with love. इससे कुछ नहीं होगा. You bring attention to it, but there are many more ways of bringing attention. Those people who returned their award are capable of bringing attention like this. They're talented people. One article by them will bring in more attention than returning the award. I think they should.
Kamal Haasan there hitting out at the award protest and taking a swipe at the Award Wapsi campaign that has been witnessed in the nation. We will continue to get you lots more news and updates on this bit of news.